I don't know if ghosts exist, none of us really do. And unless you've had a personal encounter, then most of us only have other people's word and footage to go from. Regardless, there are many stories and videos that are pretty convincing, and here is a selection of things that many people believe proves the existence of ghosts. Ghost Adventures investigation at the Magnolia Plantation. I have used a few pieces of footage from Ghost Adventures in the past, and for those who do not know, the Ghost Adventures are a team of American ghost hunters that have held the rank as the most famous ghost hunting team around. And although some believe they hoax things to make their show more entertaining, there is no denying that they have caused some pretty interesting things during their time. One of those being a mysterious flickering light that was almost responding to their requests during the 4th episode of their 2nd season. The team were investigating the Magnolia Plantation, an old United States cotton farm in Louisiana that was built in 1830 but was abandoned and left after the Union Army passed through during the Civil War and shot the watchmen. Due to its rich history of voodoo, slavery and abuse, the site is said to be haunted by the many slaves who died whilst living there. And during the team's visit, they spotted a light flickering on and off in one of the abandoned locked cabins. The current owner of the property said that it's never happened before and that there is no obvious reason for why the light was acting strange.
Looking on and off. We're just trying to figure it out, you know. It goes off and you walk away. What is that? A Lulu. What is a Lulu? A ghost? Have you seen it do that before? Never. Really? I've never seen it go on and off repeatedly like that with no explanation.
Pretty interesting. It could just be a coincidence, but it's strange how it seems to react with what is being asked and why it was happening in the first place. The owner says that it's never happened before and that he thinks it's one of the ghosts that haunt the place. So what do you think is going on? Rainham Hall Ghost. Rainham Hall is a grand mansion house in Norfolk, England that was built in 1619 by Sir Roger Townsend. The house is surrounded by over 7,000 acres of ground and has been home to the Townsend family for over 200 years. It's also responsible for one of the oldest believed ghost photographs ever taken. In 1936, Country Life magazine photographers Captain Provand and his assistant Mr. Sherratt were assigned to the house to take photographs for an edition of Country Life. At around 4 PM on the 19th of September, they were taking photographs of the main hall and staircase, and Sherratt claimed he saw a blurry apparition walking down the stairs. He shouted at the captain, who was preparing the camera for the next shot, that there was something on the stairs, and asked him if the camera was ready. The captain replied yes and took a picture as Sherratt triggered the flash. At this point, the captain was unaware of what he had taken as he was under the protective cloth used in old photography. When the negative was developed, it showed what Sherratt claimed he saw and became one of the most famous ghost pictures in the UK. The photo has been examined by experts and they believe it's very unlikely that the image has been tampered with. That's not to say it's a real ghost, but long before the photo, the house had a reputation for being haunted. Tales of a figure in a brown dress whose eyes were missing was witnessed by many at a Christmas gathering, and lots of other strange sightings apparently happened around the home. It's thought that all of the sightings and the photograph, if it's real, could be Lady Dorothy Walpole, the second wife of Charles Townshend, and the sister of Britain's first Prime Minister, Robert Walpole. It's believed that she was mistreated and locked up in a room until her death in 1726 and continues to haunt the place. So does this famous image show a light illusion creating the appearance of a figure, or is it one of the oldest and most authentic paranormal photographs out there? Haunted Lives. This next one is quite old, but is creepy nonetheless, and is probably one most haven't seen before. It was caught by a 1990s American paranormal miniseries called Haunted Lives by the show's paranormal investigators who were investigating a house in Van Nuys, California. The house had long been the subject of some paranormal activity, and because of this, the owner had a hard time renting it. Eventually, in 1991, a couple called Rita and Carl Matheson moved in, but very quickly the house lived up to its reputation and bad things started happening. The couple became abusive towards each other for no apparent reason, and they started experiencing strange things around the home, from unexplained lights in the rooms to things moving on their own. Not long after moving in, the couple returned home from a night out to apparently find the keyhole in the front door glowing red, all of the lights on and the house being unbearably hot. After entering, they broke out into an argument for no reason, and after sensing a presence and apparently being attacked by an invisible force, they left the home and never returned. Fast forward to the Haunted Lives show, and over a few months their team went to the house to investigate, setting up a few cameras to try and capture what was going on and what the couple were experiencing, and this is what they caught.
As you can see in a moment, doors and drawers, cabinets are moving. Our other instrumentation did pick up fluctuations taking place in the environment, background radiation fluctuations, electrostatic fields. In a moment, the vibration that's taking place, or the phenomena we should say, it's moving across the kitchen toward the camera. Now it's affecting the camera. We speculate on that because what you're seeing is an effect on the magnetic tape itself, and the fluctuations are continuing. After this was over, when we found the camera, it was severely damaged.
Pretty interesting footage. Now, it could easily be faked, and since there is no other information on the case apart from the TV program, it's hard to confirm how genuine it is. But still, what do you think of it? Tyneham Village. This next piece of footage is from the Dorset Ghost Hunters, a popular ghost hunting team that have a pretty big following online and are considered by their fans as very credible. They investigate many locations throughout the UK, and one of their best pieces of evidence was caught during a visit to Tyneham Village, an abandoned location in South Dorset, England that has its fair share of history. In 1943, the villagers of Tyneham were forced out so the area could be used for army training, and despite believing they could return, this never happened. Today, Tyneham is still owned by the Army Rangers and is classed as an abandoned village that's been left almost untouched since 1943. During their investigation, the Dorset team were communicating with what they believe was the ghost of a former villager who had returned home after passing and wanted to make themselves known. The believed spirit was making itself known through the EMF meter and communication device, and was also causing the team's equipment to malfunction, seemingly by request. Take a look at this.
Still there. Stopped. Whoa! Batteries have just died on the camcorder, and it says electric. Are you able to do that again? One more time, please. Video! Let's do it again! Video! Just went dead. I turned it on. What does it say? Mistress. Teacher, preacher, mistress. Mistress. School mistress. Annie Fry, 1858 to 1910. Annie moved to Canada with Louisa and son-in-law George Tizard. They faced many hardships and died there aged 52.
That's pretty strange, especially the camera switching off, which seems to be a common problem for paranormal investigators. So what do you think? Was it a former local of the now abandoned village, or is there another explanation for what they were experiencing? Pocatello High School. Pocatello School in Idaho was built in 1892 and was an impressive focal point for the local area, being visited by Theodore Roosevelt and William Taft. But in 1914, the school was burnt to the ground by a fire in the boiler room, And although it's not known if anyone died from the fire, after the school was rebuilt, rumours of paranormal activity started to spread. Students have reported whispering and strange, unexplained noises, along with the toilets being flushed when no one is in them, and apparently there have been at least 6 deaths that have occurred at the school, including the drowning of a boy in the original swimming pool before the fire, the school librarian who hung herself from one of the chandeliers, and the student who hung themselves from a locker, whose perfume can apparently be smelt near the spot where she took her life. So, with a rich history, it was not a huge surprise when some creepy surveillance footage was released from the empty school in December 2015 during the winter break. Take a look. The footage appears to show a translucent object emerge from one of the doorways into the corridor before going back into a classroom, and why the lights are being repeatedly turned on and off is a mystery. After the footage was viewed, the school called the police to examine the strange goings-on, but nothing unusual was found. So what is going on? Was it paranormal and confirmation of all the rumours, or is there another explanation, like the workers messing around? What do you think?